Why am I nervous? I'm by myself. Okay. Hey guys! Welcome to my very first video on my channel. My name is Ace. My channel name is Ace Pieces. I've never uploaded on this channel before, so I'm very nervous. But today I'm playing Genshin Impact. I'm already level 30. But the point of today's video is not to grind, but rather I just wanted to make this video to sit and just chill, just talk. Talk about stories from work, stories that have happened to me lately. I just wanted to make this video as a calm kind of video, just like a friendly video, I guess, because I've never made one. So I don't really know what to say, and I'm nervous, even though I'm alone, which is strange. I shouldn't be this nervous when I'm alone, right? But I think it's just the idea of people seeing this, it's so nerve-wracking. But, jumping into what I wanted to do today, I just wanted to tell stories, so today I work. I work from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., right? So I work 12-hour shifts, and today at work, I came in about 5:50 in the morning, right? I come in 5 in the morning. I'm tired because I only got like 4 or 5 hours of sleep, right? So I come in, I'm basically a zombie. First thing I do is I clock in and I go and get coffee, right? I'm just sitting in the break room, minding my own business, and I hear my coworkers trying to talk to me. And I don't know any of them, right? Because today was my second day, right? So I didn't know any of them. And they were trying to speak, like they were just trying to talk to me. Which is fine. I don't have an issue talking to people most of the time, right? But the first thing they did when they come up to me, oh, you're this person's niece, aren't you? And I was like, oh, well, yeah. And they're like, so you're gonna be a hard worker like your aunt, right? And I was like, well, yeah, because it's my second day at work, so of course I'm gonna try and make a good impression, you know? Especially when all of my coworkers are like 40 and 50-year-olds, and I'm like the youngest person there. Like everyone else in the break room is like in their 30s to 50s, and I am the only person there who's under 30, and there was no one else around, like my age around, so I was like, oh yeah, I'll be a hard worker, and I think that was the biggest like mistake I made today, because today at work, I was put on 3 different belts. And every single belt today malfunctioned in some way, and I feel like I'm cursed. Because I come in, I'm on belt 3, right? I'm on the last belt. Okay. I went to belt 1 first, which is, belt 1 is the highest one, so you have to climb, like, up a set of stairs to get to it, right? And then belts 2 and 3 are on the floor, right? I'm on belt 1, and belt 2 starts malfunctioning. It's supposed to be sending stuff down the conveyor belt down the line into this, like, bin kind of thing, right? But it doesn't start sending anything down the line, and it's like that for a good 15-20 minutes. Nothing's happening. So I'm sitting there, not doing anything because my line hasn't started yet. And so, I'm sitting there watching the other person's belt. It's not going. He's just sitting there staring at me from the ground, like just dead staring at me. And I'm sitting there nervous because I'm like, why is this man staring at me? I'm not doing anything. You're not doing anything. Neither of us are doing anything. So why are we having a staring contest? And they had to go get one of the welders to fix the machine. And while the welder is fixing the machine, coworker guy is still staring at me. Full-on staring contest, no blinking, eyes dry, water pouring down his face kind of staring contest. And I'm just sitting there, like, nervous, like, looking around, like, why is this man staring at me? And then when the welder finally gets done fixing his machine, dude just like, it was like he was just like gone, like in another realm, kind of gone. Like he just like comes to, blinking rapidly, and then he just kind of looks around, looks at me, looks at his machine, nods slowly, and goes to work. And I didn't know how to process that. I just got stared down by this guy for a solid 15 to 20 minutes. I've never met this man in my life. This man is probably like mid-30s. I don't know him. He doesn't know me as far as I know. And he's just staring me down and then acts like nothing happened. And that was weird, okay? But it gets weirder because I get put on line 2 because we rotate every hour, every 2 hours, right? So I get put on line 2, which is where Guy was, line 3. I get put on line 3 and he goes to line 1. And there's this little hole, like, between the machines where from, like, line 1 to line 3 where you can see each other, right? You can just barely see each other. So I'm sitting there, and my job is to be sorting stuff so that stuff doesn't get mixed, right? So I'm sitting there sorting stuff. And my line, every so often, the conveyor belt will stop so it can catch up, so it doesn't get overworked. And I'm sitting there while it's paused, and it's paused for a really long time. I'm talking 20, 25 minutes, it's just stopped. And usually, it's only stopped for about a minute, maybe 2 minutes. And then it goes again. But no, this time, it was stopped for like 20 to 30 minutes. And I'm just sitting there not knowing what to do. There's nothing for me to do. So I'm standing there doing absolutely nothing, right? And I get bored. I'm talking really, really bored because all I do all day is sit by these conveyor belt machines and watch stuff slowly go past me. 12 hours a day. And it's so disorienting because you're sitting there watching things just slowly go past for hours on end, and you don't do anything else. You sit there on a metal stool and you watch stuff just go down the conveyor belt into the bin, and then you switch it like every hour to another conveyor belt with different things, but they're still going slowly past you into a bin, and you have to sort stuff either way. So my belt is paused for about 20 to 30 minutes, okay? And I look up through the gap, and he's looking at me again. Just dead staring at me again. And I didn't know what to do, so I just kind of looked at him, and I was just like, okay, if I don't look at him, if I can't see him, he can't see me, this is fine. If I can't see him, he cannot see me. You know, like with T-Rexes, if you don't move, they can't see you, you know? I was doing that kind of thing. If I don't see you, you don't see me. John Cena, you can't see me, okay? It was that simple. I can't see you, you don't see me, end of story. But I'm sitting there, I'm bored, so I start playing with the stuff on the conveyor belt, arranging it into shapes. Like, I swear, I made a cat, I made an ooh-woo sign, I made a rat, I arranged stuff into a heart shape, and I'm just sitting there trying to entertain myself, and I look up, about 5 minutes have passed, he's looking at me again. His belt is moving. He's just looking at me. So I'm still confused, like, why is man still staring at me? I don't understand. Why is he still looking at me? So I like look at him, look at my belt, and I'm just looking like up and down my belt, confused. And I look back, he's still looking at me. So I stop, and I'm like, all right, I think the only way that I can get this man to stop staring at me is if I stare him down first. If I stare him down harder, then he'll look away out of intimidation, and I will win the staring contest. I will be the #1 starer. There will be no competition. I will be the alpha male, right? That's not how it goes. That's not how it goes. We're just sitting there staring at each other. My belt's still paused. His is going past him, and he's not doing anything but staring at me. Through the gap in the machines, staring. Just looking at me. Just staring. Like right into my soul, like windows into my, like eyes are the windows into your soul kind of staring, you know? Like I'm transparent. He's just staring through me. And I didn't know what to do. So I just kind of looked around. I saw my coworker, the one who's training me, right? So basically my trainer, my supervisor, who's not really my supervisor, but I'm gonna call her that because I don't really know what else to call her. Her. Right, I see her behind me. She's using the water hose to spray the floor down because stuff spills onto the floor all the time because of the conveyor belts. So she's behind me with the watering hose, spraying the floor down, spraying the stuff into the vents and cleaning the floor. And I sit there. But I can't hear her because it's really, really loud where I work. So we have to wear earplugs so we can avoid like hearing loss, like hearing damage, you know, stuff like that. So she's trying to talk to me, but I can't really hear anything but like wah 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 wah, that kind of stuff, right? I don't know what she's saying to me. Like, I already have trouble enough hearing as is, and now I have earplugs in my ears, and that just makes it harder. I don't know what you're trying to tell me. So I'm just sitting there staring at her, like, what are you telling me? And then she points at me, points at the guy up there, and then points at herself. And I was just like, what? And like, I looked at him and looked back at her, and I was like, what are you? And then she walks off with the hose. Like, just walks off like nothing happened. I didn't know what she wanted, so I just turn and slowly look back through the gap in the machines, and he's still staring. He's still staring. So I look at him and I point at him through the gap. He points at himself in confusion, and I nod my head, and then I do the gesture to the lady next to me, and I'm pointing at her like look at this lady. Talk to this lady. This lady right next to me. She wants your attention. But he can't see her because of how the machine is. There's only like a small kind of square where he can see me, so he can't see her. So I just look like a lunatic pointing frantically besides me, and he doesn't know what I'm saying. I don't know what I'm supposed to be telling him. I don't know what's going on. So I turn and I look at her, but she's already gone. She's gone. She's out of there. She's taking a break. She's done. She's just Harry Houdini herself out of the situation. So I'm sitting there looking like a lunatic, pointing over at somebody who's not even in the room anymore. And it was so horrendous. But luckily, then someone else came and got him, and he went and took his break. And then we rotated machines again. So now I'm on line 2. And then line 3, the one I was just on, malfunctions and starts sending the wrong things down the conveyor belt. So they have to shut that machine off and fix it. And then there's a whole mess of everything everywhere on the floor. There's water, there's stuff from the conveyor belts, there's foam from the machines, there's just death and danger all over the floor. It's like Legend of Zelda, but on the extreme. If you touch the water, you are gonna fall and crack your head open and die. There will be no lawsuit because you will not be of this world kind of thing, you know? It was dangerous. And I'm sitting there, line 2, and my line is going. I'm sorting my stuff, doing my thing, and then I look up, and line 1 is malfunctioning too. They had just fixed line 3, and now line 1 is malfunctioning. Line 2 had already malfunctioned first, and then it was line 3, and now it's line 1. And everything is malfunctioning, okay? It's like the end of the world in the factory, okay? Everything is malfunctioning. There's water dripping off of the machines all over the floor. There's stuff from the conveyor belts all over the floor. I don't know where the welder is because I don't know anybody because I'm by myself and it's only my second day. I don't know what's going on. I don't know who to get to help. So I'm just sitting there looking at line 1 as it's slowly marching its way down the Black Parade into death, right? I'm just sitting there watching it malfunction, and I didn't know what to do, so I look around. I see one of the other guys that has to help clean, along with my supervisor, teacher, whoever lady. She's not even there, so I just see him, and I motion for him to come over and come over to talk to. Oh, hi, dog. I motion for him to come talk to me. Come hither, sir. Come talk to me. I need your assistance. You are the chosen one. Come talk to me. Speak to me. Come hither. Right? So he comes over to me. I point at line 1. He looks up at line 1, sees the water cascading onto the floor like a waterfall of death, right? He sees it. He looks at me. He nods his head, turns around, and leaves. He just leaves, and I'm sitting there, me and the person in line 3 with their broken line, just me and this dude I've never spoken to before, just looking at each other in confusion, like, what is going on? Why is everything breaking today? Right? We don't know what to do. I don't know how long this other guy's been here because it's only my second day, so I don't know who are my well, everyone's my seniors. I don't know who knows what's going on, right? So I look at him, and we're just sitting there for a good 5 minutes in confusion. All the while, the floor is slowly filling with more water. And the vents that take the water away, the waterways, are flooding. And then, I don't even know what her job is, but every once in a while, this lady will walk up to the machine next to me, and she'll put a bucket under the giant faucet thing, and then she'll lift up like a lightsaber stick, whatever, right? And the machine will beep and turn that color, and then all of the waste from the machines drops into the bucket, spills everywhere. But there's holes at the bottom of the bucket, so it just gushes out like one of those water park sprinkler things for kids, all over the floor into the water vent, whatever it's called. And she walks up, and she does that, but it's already flooding. So then my shoes get soaked, because the water floods over into my way, and soaks my shoes, and soaks my socks, and I have water in my shoes, and it's cold. And the water's still flooded, and the machines are still broken, and everyone is just Harry Houdini gone. Just gone. They're out of there. Right? And then he finally, like God himself has finally descended from the heavens. He finally comes back with a man in blue. He comes back with a maintenance worker, and he fixes line 1 very easily. It was just the track was off. So he fixes line 1 like some kind of god. And then he goes to line 3 and he uses a fiery torch thing and he fixes line 3. And then he, like the hero that he is, he just leaves again. He's just gone. And Janitor Man just goes back to watering the floors and sweeping the floors. And then watering the floors some more. And then walking around pretending like he's doing stuff. And I'm just sitting there in confusion because I don't know what's going on. For all I know, the whole factory could be falling apart, and next thing I know, one of them is gonna explode and start a whole forest fire in the middle of the cornfield where I live. And it's just gonna be death and destruction and chaos. I don't even know where I'm going with this. I just have a lot of stories I have to tell. Okay? Oh, and speaking of my coworkers, I had a new coworker today, so I am not the newest one, right? This new guy came into work today, and he looks around my age, but he was only there for a few hours, right? So, I'm sitting there, it's like 20-something degrees outside, right? Because it's fall, and it's 6 in the morning. Alright, so I'm sitting there shivering because the windows are open. There is no heat on right now. The only heat you will find is the heat coming from the stuff on the conveyor belt because they just came out of a cooking thing. And that's it. right? So he sees me. He's on line 1. I'm on line 2 on the floor. He sees me shivering, so he climbs down from line 1 and closes the window. And then he goes to the window behind line 1 and he closes that window. And then he looks at me as if to check on me. And he looks at me for a good second. I look at him. He looks at me. I look back. And he just nods his head and goes back to line 1. And I'm sitting there, confused, with my hands hovering above the stuff on the conveyor belt because it's warm and my hands were stiff and felt like icicles, right? I'm sitting there, I've never met this man before, but I was very grateful. He just saved my fingers from turning into popsicle sticks. And it was a very eventful day. And then I finally get off at work. I'm supposed to get off at work at 6 p.m., right? 6 p.m. And I've worked 12 hours. 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. I'm finally done. I want to go home. I want to eat. I want to go to bed. I want to sleep. I've got work the next day at 5 a.m., right? No. I have to wait another 20-30 minutes go by, and no one has come to be my replacement. No one's come to be my replacement, so I'm standing there, line 1, not doing anything because the line's not moving, so I'm just standing there for a good another 30 minutes, nobody shows up, and I have to sit and wait. Right? Guy finally comes, and I get to go home. So I start walking out. I start to leave. I get right towards the hallway where you go to clock out, and someone bumps into me and knocks me to the floor. And now I'm on the floor. My thigh is bruising. My hand is bruising because I had to save myself. And I'm in a puddle of water. And I didn't even register what was going on until I was suddenly on the floor, soaked in water and wet, and my pants are wet and my thigh hurts. And I look up, and there's a man and there's 2 managers standing there above me like looming giants, looking at me in pure concern and worry. But I don't think they were worried for me. I think they were worried I was about to file a lawsuit. Because there was no caution wet floor sign on the floor, and there was no caution people not looking where they're going sign either. So I get knocked to the floor, day 2 of my job, and now I have a bruise on my thigh, I have trauma in my heart, and I am never going to forget looking up and seeing 3 looming giant men above me while I'm soaking wet and in pain, suffering on the cement floor. And all I wanted was to go home and eat some fries, and that was it. And yeah, that was pretty much my day today. And I feel like this has been a very long story, but my day has just been very eventful. Like, I go to work, all the machines start malfunctioning, the coworker's nice to me, I'm getting stared down by this, 35-year-old man who's probably having a midlife crisis, and then I get knocked to the floor, and now I'm bruised, I'm traumatized, I'm battered, and I'm soaking wet. And I'm ready to go home and eat some fries. And that's been my day. And that's all I really wanted this video to be, was me talking about my work and how I almost got assassinated by my coworkers and how I was stared down by a man in his midlife crisis 30s. Okay. So, yeah. If you've made it this far, thank you for watching me. Well, not watching me, but thank you for watching and listening to me rant about my hectic day at the factory.